My name's Lauren Eliz. I'm the founder of whatisperfection.com. And basically, in a nutshell, I create and produce online self-improvement courses that help women pick up the pieces, start recreating their lives, finding happiness after rock bottom, and really creating and compelling that empowering change in their lives, especially during a time where things are really difficult and hard to feel good about yourself. So today I need to talk to you of all the girls out there who are struggling to heal a broken heart, overcome a relationship loss, or just trying to figure out whether or not they want to walk away from their relationship. They think it's unhappy, they're not really sure why it's unhappy, they're not feeling fulfilled by their love life. Every time I have a client come to me asking me questions about whether or not she should be walking away from a relationship, that client comes to me telling me that they have tried to change a million things before, right? We've all put ourselves in these positions before where we constantly try to make these small changes to ourselves, these small changes to the relationship, thinking, well, I know he gets mad when I come home from work and I'm talking to him the minute he gets home and he wants to relax, so I'm gonna try to make it a point not to bombard him. And you wanna feel his love and connection, and you wanna feel happy and engaged with your partner, but you compromise that because you know it's important that your partner has that break from life when he comes home from work. That's a compromise that we make because we're trying to get the love and affection that we need from somebody, so we put our own wants and needs on the back burner. But compromises are really complicated because we are told by so many people time and time again that love is about making compromises, finding solutions, working together as a team. So how can you tell if what you're sacrificing is good for the relationship or if it's like really bad for you and your overall happiness? That's what we're gonna figure out today. We're gonna walk through the steps of what I call the WTF method of recognizing if your compromises are crazy good for your happiness or if they're a really big red flag, time to walk away, all right? So the WTF method, get out a pen and paper. This is so simple, so serious, and it is an intensive part of figuring out if your relationship is good for you or not. There are three things that no matter what relationship we are in, we should never, ever, ever be compromising. The WTF. The first is your worth. If you find yourself in a situation where your partner is putting you in a place where time and time again you feel battered, you feel like pieces of yourself are coming away after every single fight, there's no repairing the relationship and there's no rebuilding. If you find yourself in that situation and it's affecting your self-esteem time and time again, where you just feel like you can't do anything right, no matter what you bring to the table, it's never enough for your partner. No matter what you do, you're constantly having the same fights over and over again. If that is destroying your worth, that is a big no-no, guys. Big crazy pants world. We gotta walk away from it. Your relationships will have ups and downs. A healthy relationship, mine does too. Just the other day, we got into a huge fight. But a relationship has ups and downs, right? Your self-worth should never falter. It should always remain consistent no matter what difficult times you're facing, no matter what challenges you have in the relationship. If you find yourself feeling like you're never enough, like you're constantly failing, like you're making all the wrong mistakes, like you don't deserve anything better, or if you walk away from the relationship, maybe you can't find something better, self-worth red flag, okay? So that's the W, guys. Never compromise that. First and foremost, no matter what you do. The second, that T in the WTF of recognizing whether or not you're compromising the right stuff, is your truths. We all have certain things to be true, these values that we've formed of what we think an important, happy, loving relationship in our lives should be. This is what I call a blueprint. I go through this a lot with all my girls in the Brand New Me course and in the Broken to Beautiful program. A blueprint is an idea that we have formed and created in our heads of what we believe a healthy, happy relationship to be. And when your relationship is unhappy in certain ways, it is because the blueprint that you have formed in your head does not match the reality of your life. In order to create that happiness that you're looking for, you have two choices in that situation. You can reprogram and retrain your mind to start thinking about what those truths are, or you can walk away from the relationship. Now let's rewind for a little bit because that's kind of complicated. I want to make sure you understand this. Your truths are your values and your beliefs of what you think a happy and loving and healthy relationship should be. I have truths, you have truths. Yours might be much different than mine. We all bring certain things to the table. We all have these different ideas. One woman, I had a client come to me, she said, Lauren, I really firmly believe that a loving, happy relationship for my future has children in it. I believe that, I see it, I want it, but my partner who I love so dearly doesn't want the same things. He doesn't believe that that is what we want for our future. What do I do? Well, if that's your truth, as my client was telling me, that's her truth, she has a choice. She can either continue to compromise it, or she can stand up and say, no, this is not right for me, I'm gonna walk away. And she can take that big, bold step and find something else loving and fulfilling for herself. Truth is something that only you can figure out. It is not something that you can mold from your family and friends. Sure, we may imitate those things as we see them in our lives, but eventually you create your own blueprint. For me, a healthy, happy relationship after years of trying to find one, going through tons of narcs, tons of narcissists and unhealthy relationships, never finding my true love until a couple of years ago, I had formed these limiting beliefs that were really holding me back from creating my happiness, this truth, right? I believed that I was never gonna be good enough. I was never gonna find the happiness and love that I needed. Those were unhealthy truths that I knew I needed to change, because if I didn't change them, I'd be stuck in my unhealthy, unfulfilling relationship life. So I took a stand and I made changes, and now my truths today are, I believe a relationship should not be full of fighting, should not be aggressive, it should be open and honest communication. It may or may not necessarily have children. It's something that is always there to rely on for support and encouragement. Those are my truths. And if somebody were to ask me today if I would compromise those to be in a relationship, I would say, hell to the no, because I know how great those things are, and I found them in the process of recognizing what my new formed beliefs were. This is something I go through intensely with my brand new Me course, girls. So if you haven't checked out that course, you should definitely jump on that and take a look. It's whatisperfection.com. And the third and final part of the WTF method in recognizing if you're compromising the wrong things in your relationship is your future. When I was in an unhealthy relationship and I imagined my future, I would get this like knot in my stomach, this like feeling in my gut, like, oh my God, what is 5 years gonna look like from now? What is 6 years gonna look like from now? What are the next 5 months of my life gonna look like? And when I thought about what my future had in store for me because I was in this unhealthy relationship, I got this sick feeling in my tummy. You know what I'm talking about? It's like that, you know it's wrong, you know it's not serving you, you feel and see all the red flags. It's like somebody's waving this big ass sign in your future telling you to run the opposite direction, run away, and you just don't, because you feel so stuck and you feel like you don't know how to pick up the pieces, you don't know how to be on your own, and suddenly your mind goes into that snowball effect, right? You know something's unfulfilling for you, you think about the future, you don't feel excited, you feel overwhelmed and anxious, you feel like you're at rock bottom with no place to go. That feeling, that WTF method, that is how you recognize whether or not you're compromising the wrong things. Your future, when you think about it with your partner, should be exciting. It should fill you with all of these exciting possibilities and questions and eagerness and curiosity. You should not have that feeling. And if you have that feeling, it's a sign that your body is not recognizing that this is right for you. It's like when I walked away from my unhealthy relationship before I became a coach, I would think about that future and I would feel so sick to my stomach, to the point where I would actually get sick. We'd have family engagements, and even before my family engagements were happening, I would get nervous and anxious and worried because I knew, like, oh my God, I have to put on this show now. I have to pretend that everything is fine. I have to act like I'm happy and in love. How do I do that? How do I do that? The future created that anxiety in me. And so finding out what you're willing to compromise in a relationship, if it is things like, well, I won't go out every Saturday night with my girlfriends, or I will compromise so holidays or every other family and not just my family every single Christmas. those are compromises that allow you to grow. They're compromises that enhance your life, and they're compromises that prove that you are a flexible, growing human being who is going to experience new things. But if you're compromising your worth, if you're compromising your truth, and if you're compromising the perfect, happy future that you deserve going forward, and you think about it and you don't feel that way, it's time to say goodbye. And if you need help with the process of healing, take it one small step at a time. Get clear. How does my relationship compromise my worth? What does my relationship do for my self-confidence? What are the truths and the values and beliefs that I have about what love is supposed to be? And what am I compromising in this relationship? What does my future hold if I stay versus what possibilities will my future offer me if I walk away? When you see those things on a piece of paper, those are 3 bullet points, guys. Your worth, your truths, and your future. When you see those things, boom, it is so obvious and compelling to find the strength and the courage and the determination to call it quits, to say goodbye and walk away. Because if it doesn't feel right to you, it is never going to change. If it doesn't feel right thinking about the future, it is never going to get better. Find the strength to walk away, call it quits, and create a new future for your life.